Welcome to the Trading Journal, guys, where we trade high volatility stocks and make money trading them. If you're new to the channel, we blew up our account yesterday. Our goal is to take our small account and grow as fast as possible. In the month of July, we grew our account from $7,000 to over $37,000. Unfortunately, due to a massive short squeeze, technical errors, and bad risk management, we lost over $27,000 yesterday. With $10,000, we decided to officially start a brand new series where we document every trade and show you step by step how we're going to take $10,000 back to $40,000 and bring it up to $100,000. Now, today is a good day. We locked in over $2,000, growing our account by about 20% on our way back up. Right now, the general market is really crazy. There's a lot of Chinese tickers who are just gapping up, pushing, making these parabolic squeezes over 100 to 1000% like YXT yesterday, but they are very difficult to trade. You need to remember that trading these tickers are very dangerous, highly volatile, high spread, and tons of halts. So, as we try to grow our account, we need to keep in mind the general state of the market. Generally, the market behaves in cycles. We usually get the really hot market, then it slows down to a choppier market, and then it grinds to a halt to a very slow market before picking back up near the holiday season. Now, with that said, let's talk about our trades. We traded 3 tickers today: BIVI, ACI, and NAMI in the after hours. We took BIVI this morning, locking in a bit over $1,000, and I thought we were done for the day. With a small account, we only want to take high quality trades. And then I saw AZI moving. AZI reminded me of another ticker that I traded the day before, BJDX, and BJDX was really choppy to trade. Every time it moved up into the 160-170 range, it kept getting rejected and flushing back down. It was also SSR and was trading within a really concise range, so I thought AZI was going to behave like this. But just in case, because it's SSR, we recognize that this ticker could have the potential to go very parabolic and break all risk levels. So we were very patient and we watched AZI squeeze all the way up to $2.50. After his 250, we saw the rejection, we shorted the reversal and locked in another $750. And I thought that was it. So at this point, we were green about $1,800 and I was making this recap. But as I was making it, I saw NAMI moving. It went from about $2 all the way up to a high of $7 in the after hours. Now, NAMI also is another Chinese ticker that is moving up on no news. Initially, it moved up from about $2-3 to about $5. That was the initial short squeeze in the after hours. The secondary squeeze pushed to $7 and we shorted a very textbook fundamental setup because it was creating a double top. It was rejecting the 7s. And we shorted in the 680s, scalped it, covered in the 620s to 650 range, and we made only about $200. The stock was trading the after hours. We didn't really have any stats to back it up, so we took a quick scalp, just a very quick textbook double top, simple setup, locking in over $2,000 for the day. So with that said, let's break down the 3 tickets we traded today and our entries and exits and how we did on them. Alright guys, so let's break down the first stock that I traded, and that was BIVI. So let me pull up the chart first. Now, on this chart, I know the chart says August 7th. I'm making this recap a little bit late, but I promise the results are still the same. We still locked in over $2,030, and I'm gonna go back in time and show you where I took the trade, because this is what I saw in the morning. Initially, it makes this massive push from about $2 to about $2.50 on very low volume, and you can see in the exact same candle, it makes a rejection right back to $1.75. So on this pop, what I wanted to do was take the short, risking not the top of 250, but the top of this candle here at $2.11. This is a 5-minute candle. So once it established a retest and a break above $2, I want to short it as soon as it rejects and comes back down. So I took my first short in the 180s and I added, so I took my first short in this area here in the 180s, I added in the 160s. Now, this was a little bit aggressive, and the only reason why I could take this short in the 160s was because I have stats that tell me how much this stock will fade to. So on average, after this push, based on this very specific setup, so it doesn't work for every single setup, just this instance here, I know it'll roughly fade about another 20%. But at the same time, you also have to remember that even though that this stock is technically moving, the volume is still very thin on it. So the way I want to position this is I want to set up limit orders to cover on the drop. I know approximately how much it'll drop by. And I know we're looking at this in the past, but you can see that it drops all the way back to a low of about 80-90 cents. Now, I didn't get that far. I knew that this stock was very illiquid, even though it was moving for this stock. So I placed a bunch of limit orders in the 140s and 130s because I know approximately if it starts at about 160 and it drops 20%, it's going to hit the 120s and 130s. So what I did was I placed a bunch of orders a little bit above 150, a little bit below 150 in the 140s, and this is where I want to get the bulk of my position out. Now, I know it dropped lower, but that's not something I could have calculated, so I can only take the mean of my stats and calculate what I can approximately get every single time with some consistency. So I covered in the 152, covered in the 148, a little bit in the 142 as well, and the last exit was 138. And you can see I covered all of it in this flush right here. When it broke the 160 and it flushed all the way to about 140, I got all my position out in this area here. And even after I got out, you can see it slowly grinds back up to 167. Now, the reason is because after these very low liquidity type of stocks makes this fade, they slowly grind back up afterwards. So not every stock will do this, but in my experience and based on my stats, I know that's what will generally happen most of the time. And it's unfortunate because I got out on average in the 140s. It went to 80 cents. I could have tripled my profit, but that is not something I could have known and I could have calculated. So we have to be happy with the mean of the move. So next stock was AZI. Now, when we're looking at AZI, you can see that it makes a massive push on June 9th, from about $3 all the way to $7, and it comes right back down. Same thing this next day, 230s goes up to about 374, comes right back down, and the day after it just flushes. And there is some movement in this area here around the end of June, but this stock has already established a pattern. It likes to push and it likes to fade. So the problem with these type of stocks is we know it likes to push. In the introduction, I talked about BJDX. BJDX kept hitting the 160 and 170 and rejecting. ACI likes to push. So mentally, we have to understand that this stock's SSR is low flow and it likes to push before fading. With that in mind, I can't group BJDX and AZI in the same category, even though they're very similar flow, similar price action, similar stock, but their behavior is very different. And because of that, we have to mentally be prepared for the push. And because it's also SSR, it's very difficult to short, and you have to keep that in mind. So when I was watching the stock, again, we're looking at this from August 7th, but I'm going to rewind. I actually did take the stock again on August 7th, but we'll break down the initial trade first. So I wasn't really intending on shorting the stock because you can see that there was volume in the pre-market, but it was kind of holding a range. It wasn't really doing too much. And when the market opened, it makes a push to about 140, 150. Now, BJDX, from what I said earlier, it kept hitting the 160, 170 and rejecting. This one doesn't really do that. You can see from this chart here, and I'll maximize it. It makes a push to 150, 160, comes back down to 140. Makes another push to 160, comes right back down. But it only does it about once or twice. And if it only does it once or twice, it's not enough. BJDX was doing that the entire day. I shorted BJDX near the end of day on the day I blew up my account. So ACI, while similar in price action, is not the same because their rejection behavior only happened for about 20-30 minutes, whereas BJDX was rejecting it the entire day before finally flushing right before the market closed to about 120s, I believe. So I didn't really want to short this or go long because I know the history of this stock. So I let it push all the way up to about 250, 260 area. And typically what I want to see is once it establishes a high at 250, I don't want to short it yet. I want to see a retest of this high. Unless the setup is so blatantly obvious that it's just failing, this stock was not going to do that. It's SSR. SSR with increased volume is a dangerous game. And you can see from the volume candles here, it's increasing volume up until this little doji candle in the middle of it. So after this push and rejected into the 250s, breaking the previous high. Now I love this setup because when it breaks the previous high, these shorts trap a lot of people. They trap long traders and they exit the short sellers, meaning that if they took a position there, a really big position there, they have an average near the high of day. So if they want to continue walking the stock lower, because again, AZI is moving up on very limited news. I think there was some news, but it wasn't any really useful material news that would have caused this stock to move up 100%. So with that said, I took my short in the 230s. Now with the small account, unfortunately, I cannot add to my position. It's SSR, 230s is great, 220s, 230s, that's a good average. But because I don't have the cushion to continue adding to my position, knowing that if I'm wrong, I will give back all my gains and the gains I had prior, I can't add to my position. So I kept my $2.20 average. And because I wasn't really in the right frame of mind, I had a big loss the day before, I exited most of my position around the $2 level and on this flush right here in the 180s and 190s. Now, it's quite unfortunate because if you really look at the stock, it was fairly obvious it was going to retest this 160 level. I missed out, but I'm not going to complain because when you're not in the right frame of mind and when you have a lot of family matters and a lot of emotional baggage on your shoulders, especially after a really big red day, it's really important to lock in your profits and walk away because it's your first day back. You have to take the money and you have to lock it in before you want to take more risk, because you need to ensure that you are in the right frame of mind, that you don't have consecutive losers that's going to weigh you down as a trader mentally and personally. So on this trade, I made about $750. I could have made more. That's basically the story of every single trade we take. We never top tick and we never bottom tick. We take the mean of the move and we lock in the amount of money that we can comfortably risk. So this was $750 and that put me about $1,800 on a day. I was trying to make a video, but I saw NAMI next. Now, this stock just got crushed today, but yesterday in the after hours, what I saw initially was this stock was moving again on no news, and you have to be very cautious because lately a lot of Chinese tickers are moving on absolutely no news. So all you really have to go off of is chart patterns, technicals, and momentum plays, because if they're moving up so much that they're causing these parabolic short squeezes and these parabolic moves, you have to remember the faster it moves up, it will come down just as fast. So if a stock starts grinding up, it typically will grind back down. But if a stock is shooting up, it will crash right back down. That's generally the pattern that you want to know. It doesn't apply to every single ticker. You have to watch level 2, but generally speaking, that's what you want to see. And that's the general mindset and the framework that I usually work off of. So this stock makes a few impressive pushes, but it's very, very choppy and grindy. The initial push from $3 to about $5.30, you can see this block right here, very, very ugly. A solid green bar followed by a solid red bar, solid green bar, solid red bar, and then it finally squeezes again to about $6.88. Now, I wanted to short this and I saw this fade, but I didn't like it because it was holding this support and we're in the after hours. So when I was watching the stock, what I noticed was it was moving up and down on very limited volume. I think 5,000 shares was moving this stock up about 10-15 cents. So that just shows you how liquid this stock really is and how spready this stock really is as well. So with that said, we can't go in full size. We have to treat this as a quick scalp. I took my first short in the $6.80 range. I added in the 660s intending to break down. So same setup as before. High of 686, it breaks above $7 to $7.25, again trapping more momentum traders and exiting early short sellers. So when it finally rejects $7 clean, I started my initial short at 680s, adding in the 660s, looking for the breakdown below 550. Now on the stock, I was really praying for a move below $6 and 550, but it was just so choppy. And because it was so choppy and it was so thin, I had to get out. I got most of my position in the 640s and 650s. I got a little bit in the 620s, but when it pushed back up, I just exited my position. It was such a small size. It was meant for a quick scalp. I made about $200 and that put me $2,030 green on the day. Now, I want to say, after a massive red day where you lose that much money, it's very important that you have to rebuild your confidence as a trader. Everybody goes through it, some bigger losses, some smaller losses. It has to be contained. Now, I ran through that day so many times in my head, and I calculated that my max amount of money that I should have lost was somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 max. But because it kept freezing on me, I ended up losing almost triple my initial target. And that was very, very disappointing. I know if I contact the broker, there's not much they can do. They're gonna tell you that you should restart your software, that you're responsible for your trades. And that is true to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, I'm the one who suffered the loss and it really hurts. So because I know I wasn't in the right frame of mind, where I felt like the money was taken and robbed from me, I needed to make sure that I rebuild this account slowly and properly this time. So we're going to document every single trade we take, the psychology behind it, because most trades that I take have a very specific pattern and setup behind it. I watch a lot of the level 2s, and if you look at the chart pattern, I generally say a lot of very similar patterns and similar rules that I stand by. And this put me at a really high win rate. But when you get short squeezed and we're only making about 50, 30, 80 cents maybe per ticker, it's very hard when you short squeeze a couple dollars max size. And I was running through my mistake. My initial mistake yesterday was position size. I took a really big starter. My starter was about 60% of my max position, and I added. And when I hit max position and max loss, my broker froze on me. And when I couldn't get out, I somehow added to my position. So not only was I at max capacity, I was at almost 200, 300% of my normal position size. And when technical errors happen, when bad risk management happens, when you're not in the right frame of mind, that's exactly what can happen to anybody. So we're not going to be too hard on ourselves because the market has already punished us. We're going to take what we have, we're going to grow it slowly and grow it right back. And I'm going to show you every step of the way because we locked in over 20%, growing our account to about $12,000, and hopefully we'll get back to $40,000 by the end of September. Maybe end of next month or end of this month. We never know. That's the beauty and the risk of trading stocks. So these are my trades today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next time.